All right, you guys. I had a question. One of you guys said that you were thinking about making the Paralyzer into an RC. Awesome idea. It's just such a cool vehicle. I've looked at it and I thought, man, that would be awesome if I could make it into an RC. The body's just slick design. So this is the one. Of course, it's missing the turret, the gun here. I took it off because I always contemplated making this into a hovercraft. You could put an engine there, a propeller, and it'll create the lift, and then two directional fans in the back. But that's way advanced, and it's just never panned out. But if you want to maintain the look, which is cool, which I always try to do as well, is the look and the original look. That's, I think, completely doable. It's just trial and error now. I came across a couple vehicles that I thought might work in the past, and this is Sharper Image vehicle that I took apart. Well, what's left of the vehicle. It's a Sharper Image vehicle. I believe it's called a Tantrum. I'm not too sure, but 4 wheels. It's got the same style of driving force, like a tank, left and right. And the engine's big. It's got a lot of torque in there. So this would be ideal. How would you use it? I would take it apart and then cut it in half. When you cut here, be careful that those pieces of plastic don't fall in there because it might mess up with the gear and chew up the gears in there. So, but if you cut it and then what I do is, of course, seal it back up with just regular plastic pieces and glue. What you can do is have this sitting deep inside. That way you can create clearance. And then, since this is the driving force now, this could be sitting at an angle like that. And then this would be your driving wheel. You mentioned the Tamiya thread system, or the Tamiya. I'm not sure if I'm saying it right. The threads, but this is an awesome system. I came across it and I was like, man, this is all. You could do so much with it. It gives you different sizes and whatnot. It's fairly simple once you come up with the idea of making it into an RC, and you come across the driving force, the driving shafts for the driving force for the RC itself. Once you get the sprocket, this is the driving sprocket. You basically get rid of the post and you superimpose it. You glue it to this. Just be careful that, of course, that you don't get the glue in there. And what I like to use as far as glue is concerned is just hobby grade super glue. And the stuff that makes this even stronger, which already is Johnny Weld. Johnny Weld is like an aggregate. This stuff, the bond that it creates is just amazing. And you need that because you're going to have torque and you don't want this to be loose. The bad thing is that once you put Johnny Weld on that glue, it works fast. So just keep that in mind. So that's an idea, and one of the good ideas about this, using this one, is that you still have that mobility. So if it's going forward, it's probably gonna have a tendency to want to kick back, and you might actually create that look. So not driving, and then once it starts driving, it might just kick back out, and we'll give it that look like it's attacking, which is pretty cool. So that's one of the things that I thought about. The downsides of this, the upside is that you might have that mobility and you have that look, and the torque. The engine is pretty big, so I don't think you'll have a problem. And they're both independent, and they seem to be about the same distance that you want to maintain that look. So this is a good idea. The bad thing is it's bulky. You'll have to do a lot of grinding up in there, making sure that it fits well. So yeah, Sharper Image, that could be a possibility. Another possibility that I came across was the Hypertrax. The Hypertrax is crazy little, Air Hogs makes it. It's a crazy little tank. The cool thing about this is all this middle stuff, it's just electronics and battery. And it's got a couple sensors. But the engine and the driving force is self-contained within these threads. Just really fairly simple. This is super lightweight, so it's fairly fast. The engine, once I took it apart, of course, it's self-contained into this little sprocket. You would think that they would make the big sprocket, the driving force, but no, it's the little one. So I cut it, and then I took it apart even further, and this is what I'm left with. And this is basically it. This is the driving force. Small engine. It's a 2-wire simple connecting point there. It's small engine, so you gotta be careful on this one too because of the voltage. I wouldn't go any more than 3.7 volts per engine, but if you're gonna link up 2 engines, then you'll be all right with maybe 7.2 volts. But small battery, I would suggest, because if not, you might burn this out. So be careful with that. The electronics is a whole different video. But this is basically it right here. This keeps the small silhouette of the look. And in theory, since it's a small engine, but in theory you have 4 engines driving the vehicle. So that should be enough torque, but there's no way of knowing until you do it. So same concept though. You take away this post, you grind as much down here that's not needed so you can give it clearance, and then you superimpose that sprocket. Once you superimpose that sprocket, then you have a small silhouette, and make sure that you lined up all your wheels, and then you're set. Then you create it, and each one of these is going to be independent, so it's going to be the self-contained threads or tracks, and then you can just play with the connecting points. Then you're free to do whatever you want, because each one of these is going to be self-contained driving force. Another one that I wanted to show you that might save you some time is this one. This is the Tamiya Bear, and this is pretty cool toy. I saw it, I was like, man, it's got like some serious articulation. This one, the engine's back here, and so this thread drives this thread, and then the force is transferred to this thread. So all these threads are working in this from one engine. So this is just a regular independent thread. It doesn't have any power. It doesn't have power by itself, but this sprocket down here is what drives it. And the sprocket is fairly accurate as far as look is concerned, so it might save you some time. So you get this and separate it from all this stuff, and then you're left with that one sprocket and that one thread that's already pretty much the look of the Paralyzer. I'm not sure if you could tell, but the driving force down here, the sprocket is it's a little bit smaller than the Tamiya one, but you're already left with that. So what I was thinking of doing is just incorporating this one, just like I said about superimposing it into that. You just go in there and superimpose it into this thread, and then you have a working thread that can be the Paralyzer. You could probably do this as well with that, and you still maintain the movement for that one. So the Bear, I think Tamiya makes it. The Air Hogs Hypertrax, and the Sharper Image Tantrum, I think it's called. Those are 3 ideas that I had. Let me know what works. I don't know which one's gonna work, but have at it. Just remember, when we build these, the frustration level, I've built them. I thought they were gonna work. I spent hours and hours working on certain prototypes, and they just don't end up working out. But it's part of the process. Trial and error. I've messed up so many times, and but you kind of sometimes get lucky. I get lucky a lot. I don't know how, but somehow or another I find all the pieces that works perfectly for it. But then again, I remember those times. I don't remember all those times that I failed. Maybe my mind just puts it out. Doesn't allow me to remember. But so hopefully that was helpful. And if you have any questions, if I missed anything, or if you want me to clarify anything, let me know. Like I said, the electronics, that's a whole different beast there. I can explain a little bit about that. I'm not that advanced with it. Like I said, pretty rudimentary, but I can let you guys know what works for me and what I've done, what I've learned. So, all right, good luck out there.